Hello and welcome to the Apple Store at the Kurfürstendamm. I'm very happy that you're all here at that time of the day, and I can see many people. So please be prepared to have questions later on. But first of all, I'm very honored and pleased to welcome Carice van Houten.
Thank you.
So welcome.
Danke. Thank you.
Very good to have you here.
Oh, well, I'm happy to be here. I cannot believe it, actually.
You had some troubles with the plane last night.
Yeah, our flight got cancelled, so we had to fly in late last night.
Okay.
It's fine, but I'm a little jet lagged, so...
So we keep you there on the seat so that everything goes fine. So you're here for the European Film Awards.
Yeah.
You're presenting a category and you're playing live there. So what is it? These European Film Awards are really a big thing, held tonight in Berlin. So are you a member of the Academy?
Not yet.
Okay, but you will be soon, I hope.
I will be soon, right after this.
So what is it, this European Awards?
What is it
for you?
Oh, for me. Well, I think it's great that we are celebrating European cinema with this, and I think there's still a little bit too little attention for it. I think so. We're trying to, change that because there's so much good stuff coming from Europe, and I think we can be very proud of that. So, yeah, I hope we can celebrate it in a good way. Tonight.
It's a very nice and important prize. It's, as you said, not really so big scene in the world, but I would totally agree that it needs a bit more.
It's probably hard because there's all these different countries, and it's hard to. I think the logistics are probably a little bit complicated.
Yeah, but it's going to be a good show tonight.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and we'll take care of it.
And the diversity of European cinema is quite big, so it's quite an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So you come from the Netherlands. You're very well known there. You're very well known here for movies like Black Book by Paul Verhoeven in 2006, but also Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. You did WikiLeaks recently, and of course Game of Thrones. We will talk about this a bit later. Looking at your career, it seems to me that it was really straightforward because you started very young. You went to a theater school, and I got the impression that you started to be really. You had a very clear plan from the very beginning.
Oh no, I never had a plan.
Okay.
I mean, the only plan I had was to become an actor, and I don't think I've ever planned anything. I just worked and worked, and then it just happened like that. But it was never. I mean, yes, I wanted to be an astronaut for maybe one day when I was young, but otherwise, I just wanted to be a singer or an actor. And it's funny because I never really thought about when I was young. I never wanted to be famous, or I never dreamed about. I can't remember dreaming about red carpets or stuff like that. I just wanted to act because I needed to. It was a very serious urge in me to express myself that way, which I think is a little different from children now, who, if you ask them what they want to be, they either want to be rich or they want to be famous, and I have no idea what it means. So it's a very long answer to a very short question. I'm sorry, but
no, that's fine. That's why we're here. So, what did your parents say? Because at that time, probably today, it's because
in the 50s. Well,
no, not in the 50s, of course. You're very young, but at that time, parents would probably not be so optimistic about a career in the film or a theater business.
Well, I have to say, my father, I don't think he wanted me to become anything else. Like, as long as it was in the arts, it was fine.
Okay.
And I was raised with silent cinema. Like, he writes books in English about Russian silent cinema. I mean, that's a niche, That's yeah. You don't want to make money. That's just love for cinema. And so I was raised with Laurel and Hardy's and Chaplin's and Eisenstein and all that stuff. So if I would have become anything else, I think he would have been very disappointed. Okay. So I think there was a lot of, not push, but they were very open for me to do what I wanted to do.
So when you started acting, was the singing part, because as you can see, all the instruments. Singing is another very important part for you. Did it come along, or did it come later?
Well, I used to sing, but I was very shy. So it was easier for me to act. I thought it was scarier to sing. But I did go to a school in Amsterdam where they, a little bit like Fame in the 80s, you know, where people would stand on the pianos and all of a sudden start doing some show dance. I didn't go to a traditional drama school, so I did a lot of singing in school. And then after I finished my school, I ended up doing a lot of movies and drama, and not so much of the musical theater anymore. Which was a shame, but it just went like that. But I always, I think music is more of a love for me than movies even. So it was never gone. It was just, there's not so many movies made anymore, like Singing in the Rain, for example. You know, I would love to do something like that. But so people were a little bit surprised when I started singing, and which surprised me because it was always with me. I just forgot about it a little while.
Yeah, it's probably because there are not so many talented singers who are also very talented actors out there, especially if they come from Europe. Because normally people don't have this education you had, like dancing, singing, and acting in one sort of school.
Yeah, that may be true. It is a special school. Yeah, it's not your regular drama school. But the downside is that you learn little pieces. I can tap dance a little bit. I can Spanish dance
you can
a little
tap
bit.
Dance a little bit.
Yes, but you know,
who
when are
can
you ever
tap
gonna
dance
need
here?
it? No, I suck at tap dance actually.
Okay.
Completely. I was bragging that I know it a little bit. I cannot do it at all.
Okay.
But I was taught to do it. You know?
Okay. So, but what I can tell, you can sing very, very well.
Thank
and
you.
we can see something because we have a little clip recorded this year in March live at the Paradiso in Amsterdam, which is the best concert hall in the world, I think. I think it was nominated.
They would be really happy to hear that.
Yeah, but I think they're nominated. They have a ranking.
It's a beautiful room,
so
and it has a lot of history. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. You sing it. So Something Funny performed live at the Paradiso. It's from your album See You on the Ice. What kind of album is that? How can you describe it?
It's very eclectic, I want to say, because both me and my producer have a very eclectic taste, and we didn't want to make just one atmosphere. We just, grabbed from all sorts of emotions and thoughts, and so there's a very jazzy song on there. There's a folky song. There's a pop song. There's a little electronic song. It makes no sense. It's a mess.
When I listened to the album, I totally agree with what you said, but I had the impression that you really liked it that way because it shows different sides of your personality on one hand, and it's quite open. It's not so focused on one side, so you can let all the other influences in there.
Yeah, and I think it feels a little bit like, I've said this before in interviews, it feels a little bit like they're like 10 babies, my babies from different men, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and what I really like is I've been so, I treated this album as a miniature painting, where basically what I like about it is the detail, and I'm a huge detail freak. So I've been busy with the, I don't know what these things are called, the help me out. De schuiven. Hoe heet die dingen nou? The faders.
The faders
to there's a big difference in 0.5 millimeter up or down. That stuff. That's what I like.
So how was it for your producer? Because you were sort of a co-producer.
I probably drove him crazy, but he was so open for my ideas, which made him, I think, very very good, because he was he gave something up, because he knows the book of do's and don'ts in music. I don't. I never made an album before, so I was in a way a little bit maybe very innocent in that sense. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think this might be cliche. I don't care. You know, if it's what I feel, then
Okay. Yeah, but it sounds quite good, and it sounds quite natural in a way. So I don't know you, of course, but I got an impression of how you could be listening to the album, which I really liked.
oh, that's cool.
So it's at least an interesting personality which comes through the different songs.
Yeah, I'm happy that you see it that way. Yeah.
So you will perform something funny tonight at the European Film Awards.
Yep.
But we will see another song of yours. It's called Particles of Life. Also
Particle of light.
of light.
It's a difference.
Also recorded at the Paradiso. So, who is this guy?
This guy is one of my best friends that I was in the school, in the same school with, and I asked him to do, because the original voice of the man is the voice of Anthony Haggerty of Anthony and the Johnsons.
Yeah.
And he couldn't be there, and I I asked
He's a good
him.
replacement.
Fair enough, he was in New York. Yes, it was a great replacement because he has a beautiful voice. So and this, I was just so happy to see it, because this is one of the most beautiful days of my life. That you know, I mean, you can't see it, but I know.
Yeah, one can see it quite easily. So when you sort of start acting, and you read a script, you find your way into a certain role in the position you have in that movie or in the play. How is it with the songs? Is it also finding a way to the song?
Oh yeah,
Is it similar?
In a way, it is similar, yeah, because there's so many ways you can sing a song, and the good thing about the education that I had in that school was that we were very focused. We were very taught to, like Jacques Brel was the master. Like that was what everyone wanted to be like, which is impossible. But what we were taught was that if you sing a song, it's not about technique. You know, forget X Factor, forget The Voice, with all respect, but these people can sing great, but it's very technical, if you know what I mean. And I think singing is about telling the story, and it's like a movie. You're telling the story, and the best singers for me are singers that are not per se technically perfect, like Nina Simone, like Tom Waits, like Bob Dylan, you know, people like that. At least they touch me, and I don't care so much about the technical singing.
Yeah, you need to have a personality.
Again, it's a very long answer, and I don't even know what the question was.
No, it's quite okay. So, but as you mentioned a few names, but it's always important to have a personality behind, because otherwise, as you said, it's just technical, perfect, but no one can feel anything.
No,
So
that's not what we're here for. We have to, you know, people have to feel something.
So, because you mentioned a few names, are you also, because you said you're eclectic with the work you do on the album and with your music, are you an iTunes or collecting music everywhere in the world?
I'm a freak. I'm a total freak.
I would have guessed that.
Yeah, I'm the person that will shove you away on your own party and will play the music because I can't stand what's on the speakers.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
a little
going to the
anal that
DJ
way.
and asking him, "Can you play something else, please?" Or
Yeah, I'm like that. I can be a little anal. I can be a little bit too much.
yeah, I can totally. I'm as well same. So
Yeah?
I know what you're talking about. It's sometimes
So
a bit pushy.
Yeah, but it's important because
yeah.
life's too short to listen to bad music, man.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you can
You can clap.
do stuff like this. So, will there be ever a decision between music and acting, or will it always be?
I don't know.
Together?
When I first made my album, the 2 weeks in the studio, I felt more happy than ever in my life. So then I thought, fuck the movies. I'm never gonna do that again. I'm only gonna make music. But then, you read a script and your heart starts pounding again. So it's a mixture. I would love to be able to do both.
So let's go back to Melisandre to Game of Thrones. You're actually shooting right now, season 4.
We just finished the 4th season.
Oh, okay. So you will probably not give away any spoilers, but
And Mr. HBO is going to kill me if I do that.
yeah, I would have guessed that, but it will be a good one, I think.
Oh yes,
And an interesting one.
There's going to be some interesting stuff. There's going to be some nasty stuff, but that's that's an open door. But and yeah, you'll see some nudity again.
Okay, let's not go any further here.
Why not?
But coming back, no, because of HBO, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
But coming back to the role, because Melisandre is a very interesting person. She's sort of dangerous, dark, evil, but on the other hand, there's something in there which you just don't know where she will go. She is not only evil and dangerous.
I mean, I hope that you don't. Well, that's the first thing you see, the evil side. But I hope this is what I like so much about the series, is that it shows how people are, in horrible situations. There's no good person. There's good and evil in everyone. There is no way that people don't have dark sides. And the darker sides come up more, even in the good people. So the life's not black and white. I am, but it's not.
Just for today. So what do you remember the moment when HBO called? Did you go to a regular casting?
Hello, it's Mr. HBO.
Yeah, probably.
No, I did an audition.
Okay.
In a very small room with a lot of guys in suits, and I had to pretend that I was talking to the Lord of Light in this little room, and I got it. So that's how it went. So
are you the TV series programs girl, watching it all night and not stopping because even if it's 2 o'clock, I need another one more
of Game of Thrones?
No, not only Game of Thrones, but also.
Not really. I listen to music more.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really find time to go through the whole thing. I know that there's so much good stuff there waiting for me, but I just don't have we're too restless to start it. And Game of Thrones I have to watch because I just want to see what I'm doing and what my colleagues are doing and how the story is evolving. And I really love the series, to be honest. But I have to say that every time my face is on there, I'm in the story, and then all of a sudden I see myself, and I'm like, oh no!
But you can,
it completely breaks the illusion.
Okay, but you can watch it because many actors are not able to watch.
I watch it like this.
Okay, it's very good. You don't have to be like this, but it's probably normal when you see yourself.
Yeah, you'll never really get used to it.
Okay. So what besides Game of Thrones? What's coming up next?
Oh, there's a lot of things in the pipeline. I don't know if that translates in English. Yeah? The pipeline? The five line? Nee, überhaupt nicht, nee. I can't say anything really about that yet. But the thing I know is that I'm working on something myself, that I'm producing and developing myself, of course with other people. But that's something that's going to happen in 2015, 16, I don't know. So coming back to the European Film Awards, is there any European director you really want to work with in the future? One of the many? Yeah. First thing that comes to mind is Almodovar, but it's, yeah. Yep. I have to work on my Spanish, man. It's not that good, yes. You can talk to him tonight. Yeah, well. He's last year I was sitting behind Michael Haneke, who I love to work with as well. But I just saw the back of his head. I didn't dare to say anything. I was a little intimidated. You won't be tonight, I guess. Yeah. So, thank you very much for coming. It's time for you now. So, time for the Q&As. If you have any question, it's time for you. Maybe you can give us a sign because there are microphones down there. And don't be shy. Don't be shy now. Don't be shy. This is your chance. The girl
in the grey jacket.
So you said you found it really awkward to watch yourself in films. Do you find it as weird to watch yourself sing?
It's a little less weird because I'm not moving that much. But yes, it's so personal to sing. I mean, you know, in a movie or in a theater play, I'm playing someone. I have a weird name like Melisandre, and here I'm myself. So yes, it's different, and it's in this case I'd love to see it because it reminds me of this beautiful day. But regularly I wouldn't really watch it. Thank you for your question.
Is there another one? Yeah, please. The one in the front.
As a European actress among American colleagues, I wonder how exactly do you feel being a foreigner in such a very American series? And
well, it doesn't really feel like an American series because most of my co-actors are either from Scotland or Ireland or England. So I think the Americans are more of a minority there. I mean, yes, it is an American company, but Americans don't have so much to say. No, they do, of course, because they are the producers and the writers. But on a daily basis, I hardly hear any American. I hardly see them. So, thank you.
It's a very European TV program, more or less.
Yeah.
Because any question? There's one. Yes, the man in the blue.
Hey, die ken ik. It's you.
Yeah, it's in the
From
second
Sweden.
row.
Yes, I recognize you.
Yep. And I was going to wonder, as someone who follows you on Twitter, how do you have time? How do you have time? I mean, you're constantly tweeting every day. You sing, you send little films, etc. Do you really have time to work?
Do you have time to work? The funny thing is, the more I work, the busier I am, the more I tweet. I don't know why that is. Because when I'm on a holiday, I don't think there's so much to say, or I just want to relax. So, yeah, it means that I'm working hard, funny enough. And it's also an addiction. Yes, I am a Twitter addict. There, I said it.
Okay,
see a
yes,
little
one
finger there. Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
What does the title of your album refer to? See You on the Ice.
As I mentioned before, Anthony Haggerty, that's the singer that's on a duet with me on the record. He is. I'm a big fan of his, and he told me once that he had a big concert to do, and there was hardly any time to prepare to rehearse, and he just, after the rehearsal that was very short, he said to the big orchestra that he said, "See you on the ice," meaning we'll see what happens when we get there. And that's how I felt making this record. Like, well, I'm just gonna dive in and I'm gonna improvise. And it's and also it's inviting people to. For me, it was a dangerous step as a sort of well-known actor to become a singer, because everyone is very skeptical about it mostly at first. And so it was sort of an invitation, like I'm going on a slippery. I'm going to do something scary, and I'm inviting you to come along with me. That's the story. A little romanticized, but yes, that's what it means.
So maybe one last question.
Yeah, sorry.
Is the microphone coming? Yeah.
Hi, do you see elements of yourself in your characters that you play, or do you feel you more reinvent yourself? And if it is the first, is there any role you feel like most reflects you?
Well, that's a good question. I basically always feel like myself when I act. I don't really believe in becoming someone else or going into someone else's skin. I think it's the other way around. I think the character takes over you, if you know what I mean. So you use your own, because that's why every actor is different. That's why we like to act, because we want to put something from ourselves in there, because otherwise we're just machines. Everyone can do it. So I basically always feel that it's me saying really strange things, or doing really strange stuff, or wearing really strange clothing, because it has to be connected with something in me. And sometimes it's a hard way, because not always you can find it immediately. If you play like this medieval witch, it's not very close to my character per se, but there's always something there that you can take it from, if you know what I mean. So yes, I feel I always make it very, very personal, otherwise I can't act. That's the answer.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you
for being here today, and have a lot of fun tonight at the European Film Awards.
Thank you.
And good luck for the future with everything you do. You can see the podcast, I think, in a few weeks on iTunes, available, of course. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.